Hey friends, welcome back to season 3 of Stars of Learning podcast. And I'm your host, Jyoti G. And this is an exclusive Leaders Spotlight interview with our guest on their insights and experiences. And I'm sure you will have loads of nuggets which will inspire you to take action and also connect with my guest. By the way, friends, if you're joining to this show for first time, then make sure you also check my previous episode and do subscribe to my channel so you're notified on our upcoming shows. Hey Shipra, welcome back to part 2 of this episode. And this episode is something like a rapid round to know about the leaders who come on my podcast, Stars of Learning. And these are some personal, powerful questions targeted to know what you do, how you manage your life, and get more insight that will influence my listeners to engage, enlighten and empower, and that's the mission of my podcast too. Are you ready?
Yes, absolutely. I'm ready. And you said personal and powerful questions. So now I'm wondering what kind of questions would that be? But thank you so much once again. And namaskar to everybody who is listening and watching us.
Sure. You don't have to panic at all. It's very insightful questions. So the first powerful question to you, according to you, what is your star moment?
Oh, so when somebody asks me, people ask me, what is your star moment, Shipra? What is your defining moment? I said, if there was one, I would have shared. There are many. In fact,
One top of your mind.
multiple. Yeah, because see, throughout my life, I have had so many different kind of moments, which basically laid foundation to so very different things that have shaped me,
Yeah.
and they basically propelled me forward in their own way. So I cannot specifically say that this has been the best moment or this is the one which has pushed me forward. But then I always have a lot of stories to share with people. Like very recently I've just completed a program with one of the government organizations, which is a paramilitary organization. And again I basically came across a moment which was, like, you could say, a star moment for me. Like even at this particular age, I keep having those kind of moments again and again. So this so this kind of a moment was that I was, like, as usual, in the morning I was taking my, I would say, a quick walk. So I basically warm up and then I start running. And the kind of distance that I'll run on that day, 2 kilometers or 5 kilometers, it's not defined. It entirely depends on the mood. And if I feel like going about it, I do more or less. So I was walking briskly, and suddenly I thought that there's somebody who is following me. So there was an urge to, slightly look at the back. And then I told myself, okay, no, increase your pace. There's no need to look back. So I increased my pace. And then I thought that there's somebody started running now, to match pace with me. So I
Okay.
increased my pace further. I said, okay, now there's competition which is coming up. And I was enjoying it.
Okay.
And it's after some time, and this carried on for some 200 meters. Then I suddenly felt the footsteps, slightly drowning away. And then I thought, what happened? That magic is going away now. And then I looked back. What did I find? I found a small child of 9 years of age was
Uh,
trying to keep a pace with me. And I was walking very fast. And
okay.
that's the point of time I suddenly stopped. And I told myself, look, this is what happens and when you start assuming things. And this is what I tell people. Why did I assume? I shouldn't have assumed. And that poor child was trying to pace with me, probably was motivated and inspired enough to keep the pace. Maybe I could have slowed down and give that child that moment of glory. So I think it came back to me once again, stop assuming. As much as I tell others, don't ever assume. Take every single moment, every single thing you do as a fresh thing, perspective. And that is what came back to me. So this is the latest one, I can tell you.
Hmm. Very interesting. And I think this is, we put a base, and it's definitely an eye opener for people to know. Don't assume, there could be many possibilities, to
Exactly.
inspire people. Yeah. So,
Exactly.
so with that note, what inspires you to do everything that you do today, Shipra?
If I try to put it in words, because again it would become too long. I think being alive every single day is a huge blessing.
Mm,
So whenever I, set my foot to do anything, I tell myself probably I won't be waking up the next morning. If I go to sleep, probably that would be my last, I would say, blissful rest sleep. Maybe then I will transcend into some different universe, metaverse. I
mm,
don't know whether, there's an afterlife or not, because nobody has experienced it, nobody has seen it. But then I tell myself, so whatever time I'm here alive in this body, let me make, maximum, you would say, utilization of it. And that's what keeps me going. So today, if I've got so many hours, so many minutes, so many seconds to perform, maybe let me perform it to my best of my capacities. And the next day will be a new day altogether. So I'll, completely forget this day and start it once again. And that's what
mm.
keeps me.
Interesting. And I already see a logo of Breathe to Live behind you, and you are the
Yes,
founder of it. So,
true.
what would you do differently in learning in your company?
See, the first thing which I want to do is I and my co-founder is we set on an important task of unlearning all the learnings. We
Mm,
wanted to unlearn. And
okay.
because there were a lot of things which we learned through our childhood, particularly associated with yoga, and because our company is on holistic health,
Mm,
and there were a lot of things, lot of material, lot of knowledge which is being disseminated over, I would say, the different kind of platforms. A lot of confusion, lot of people, proclaiming that they are experts. So it's very chaotic outside. So we thought that let us see them, and instead of telling ourselves and telling the world that we are the best in this, let us start, unlearning, and let us start learning things afresh. And
mm,
for that, let us try and experiment. Let us go and enroll ourselves to all kind of training programs that are available, whether online or offline. Let us take them as absolutely new people who don't know even an A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3 of yoga,
mm,
and then see how much of it comes to us, and then utilize it.
mm.
So that is what we started doing, and that is what then finally has helped us in crafting whatever we want to give to our audiences. And who is our audience, or who are our consumers, or who are our customers? Literally everybody.
Ah.
Everybody on this planet who breathes, and right now it is human beings only, is basically our customer. Is basically our customer. So when I say customer, we do not mean a person who is going to purchase our services. When I mean customer, when I say customer, is a person who is going to utilize our services, whether you pay or you don't pay. That is a different matter
Mm.
altogether. That comes later on.
Sure, sure. Wonderful. With that note, I know you want to make life easier for people to breathe. So, in that note, what are the three most important things you want to achieve right now, or maybe for this year?
When I usually answer this question, people don't like the answer. But then I am a candid person. So when people say, "What do you want to achieve in life?" I say nothing.
Hmm.
So what is going to be your accomplishment? I say nothing. So
Hmm.
are you basically, living for nothing? There's no purpose in your life. I said, yes, there is. And that is why Breathe to Live is there. We
Oh.
want people to, maximize their potential, optimize their systems. We want them to have joyfulness in their life, abundance in their life. We want them to, experience peace. We want them to truly, recognize their capabilities. All these there as a part of professional commitment. When you talk to me, what are you looking forward to? What do you want to accomplish in life? I want to accomplish in my life, an inner joy, a sense of inner joy and happiness, which is eternal. And I'm very happy that I've already achieved it. So now whatever happens is an add-on. It is an addition. It is like basically transforming other people's life. And as I said, I'm living every single day. So I'm not looking forward to 1 year or 1 decade. I'm just looking at a one single day every day. So
Mm.
today, when we are, sitting together, it's like late in the night. So it's almost like the day is over. It's the time to, basically let your body rest. So what am I planning to achieve? So what I wanted to do as such, as a person, as a human being, I've done that for the day. Whatever little is remaining is more of a professional commitment, which I would complete. And that's it.
Very motivating, Shipra. So, with that, move on. My next question is this is based on my listeners ask. They want to know the strengths of the leader who come on my show. So, if I may ask you, what are your strengths?
This is something which I can readily share because I tell people that these are the three important things which I have. Otherwise, I have a lot of vices in me. But three important things which I have is integrity, yes,
Mhm.
discipline, yes, and commitment.
Okay.
I think I can easily define myself on all these three attributes. I am a person of very high integrity. Given a choice of doing things in an easy manner and doing things in the right manner, but they are difficult and challenging, I will always choose the right manner, even though if it is arduous or difficult, no matter what. Even if nobody is watching me, no matter what. I am a person of very, very high integrity. This has come to me because of my upbringing. I don't
Mm.
think I have any iota of contribution into this. Simply an upbringing because of I was born and brought up in a defense environment. So this was something which was inculcated. Now,
Ah.
coming to discipline, this is something which I have realized over a period of time that if you want to achieve something, you need to be very consistent. And
Hmm.
to be very consistent, you need to have a certain kind of discipline in yourself. You need to, you may reward yourself or pamper yourself later on. But at a certain point of time, you have to tell yourself that this is a task and this needs to be done. These are the timelines, and you have
Hmm.
to follow it. You must discipline in whatever fashion you can. Otherwise, you will never achieve. Uniformity, consistency is very important.
Hmm.
Nobody accomplishes anything, and people say a lot of things nowadays that smart work is the best work instead of hard work, or such kind of people. If you would allow me to say, I'll say that is bullshit. Look at Neeraj Chopra. He has done a lot of hard work. There is no smart work there. Look at Virat Kohli. There's a lot of hard work. There is no smart work there. Take anybody. If you want to see Narendra Modi, there's a lot of hard work there. There's no smart work there. You want to talk of lately Eknath Shinde, there's a lot of hard work there. There's no smart work there. If you talk of Ratan Tata, there's a lot of hard work. Whosoever you talk, there's a lot of hard work. So
Hmm.
nowadays people are propaganda is there. Only do this much, but do it that way, and that is going to yield result. No, results come only when you are putting in efforts and which are very consistent, day in, day out, whatever. And the last thing which I wanted to say is commitment. Once you've committed, once you've said something, respect it. Because if you can't respect it, nobody else is going to. And that is very important. So when I tell myself, nobody turns up for our program, nobody is going to watch us. But if I've told myself I need to be ready and I need to be there, I need to be ready and be there.
True.
So these are the three big values I have. Rest, as I said, are vices in me.
Interesting and very powerful one, Shipra. So, my next question to you, what's the best book you have read this year or any time you want to recommend to my listeners?
Again, as I said, maybe the listeners are not going to like me, but I'll recommend two different kind of books. Because for adults particularly, it's The Wings of Fire, that is by Dr. APJ Kalam.
Mm.
And that's one of the most, I would say, motivating and inspiring books. What is so inspirational about this book is somebody who's faced so many challenges in his
Mm.
life. And I don't want to talk about him as if he's not there in the past. So I'm speaking about him as in present. It was people like him are always, present with us. So somebody who has faced so many challenges in life, but when you read the book, the challenges have been presented as opportunities. There's
Mm.
no whining, there is no crying, there is no cribbing. Everything is in that positive shade of light. Had
Mm.
it been somebody's else biopic or something, it would have been, I was born and brought up and like this. Still I did that. You
Mm.
do not find that kind of tenor in that book. Nothing of that sort. There is nothing like although, but, and though there, and
Okay.
however there.
Mm.
So that is the kind of powerful optimism it presents you. It tells you if you have challenges, convert them into opportunities. So I
Mm.
love that.
Okay.
But if you ask me what is my like favorite time reading all the time, so I would say all the children comics, particularly the one which I read in my childhood, like Amar Chitra Katha and Vikram Betal. And they were the best comics because they had a lot of, I would say, goodness inside them.
Mm.
And they had some kind of, I would say, teaching and
Mm.
learning for us.
Mm.
And it was beautifully presented, visual presentations were good. All the books which have visual depictions or illustrations are good books.
Mm.
Because many of us do not read books because of, too much of, I would say, language into it, too much of prose into it. But if you have depictions, it makes things very, very interesting.
Mm.
So I simply love those books. So whenever I get an opportunity, any kind of cartoon books or those things, I basically like reading them.
Yeah. With that note, I should say we can lot learn from looking at the cartoons like Tom and Jerry.
Exactly.
Yeah, Chota Babe, so many
Yeah.
things. And, the people
Donald
wonder,
Duck.
but then it actually rejuvenates. It gives you a lot of energy when you look at them. And yeah, I can resonate with
It
what you.
gives you energy, and as because now I'm a business owner, it basically makes me, go into lateral thinking.
Mm.
Because once you are into business, you're more becoming logical. What is the next step, and the next step, and the next step? But then there are many times when you are wanting some different kind of solutions. And when
True.
you read these kind of books, it gives you that kind, because they are so very open to experimentation.
Mm.
And that is what, basically makes you think and come up with new ideas.
Yeah. Interesting, Shipra. Shipra, my next question is on the mentor or a coach. So, what are the characteristics of the best boss or a role model, or it could be a mentor or a coach you ever had, and what made that person great for you?
So I would like to specifically talk about two people. One who has been a quintessential coach or mentor, and this is again a person who is basically in a different universe, metaverse. That's my late father, Mate Colonel Satyapal Mago. I've always looked upon him and his teachings, and whenever I'm in some fixed situation, some difficult situation, I think, try to think like him. What would have he done in this particular situation? Because he had that kind of, I would say, because he was an army officer, he was a paratrooper commando, OLQ as they say in army lingo, officer like qualities. So
Mm.
what are these officer like qualities? Lead from the front. And how do you lead from the front? You set an example. How do you set an example? Rather than telling people do it, you show them how to do it, and
Mm.
you're a part of that particular thing. So he was always like that, and he never had to raise his voice. He was very ferocious, he was very fierce when it came to be as a soldier, but at the same time was very gentle, very polite, very well mannered, very calm.
Mm.
So one cannot imagine the same person, ekdam se he could change into somebody so ferocious, give that kind of, war cry, and
Mm.
and the next second he's so calm and tender, as if like he's catering to a small baby or something. I think that's a very, very important quality of a leader, that you are able to adapt and be very, very flexible. That is one of the things. And as a mentor, you should have the highest level of emotional intelligence. That is empathy.
Mm.
If you can recognize your teams or your people's, I would say, thought processes, and then mold them accordingly, it would be a good idea. Second
Mm.
is my, I would say, first boss in the company in which I started working. and that was my area sales manager when I was in the pharmaceutical company. And everything he wanted to say, he was like always like bursting and bubbling with laughter. It's
Mm.
not that he never used to get angry, but he used to get angry, and then after 2 or 3 seconds, there used to be a huge smile on his face, even after becoming angry. He used to scold and then he used to smile. So I learned something so very nice from him, that he used to make the atmosphere very amicable, very
Mm.
friendly.
Mm.
And when he used to mean business, he used to mean business, but he brought in that element of humor and
Mm.
fun.
Mm.
I understood a leader does not have to be necessarily morose, necessarily upright, always, okay, is the task done? And then, okay, where is your report? Not those of kinds. A leader can always be, okay, so that is the kind of stupid report you have made today. So you could pack it like that and tell you like this. Oh, but what a nice
True.
stupid report you have prepared today. So I literally learned it from him, giving it to your people in a nice manner, but as they say in Hindi, "Makhme mein lapet ke juta marna."
You have described great personalities, and then especially sales guys, they're so stressed out all the time, and that
Yeah.
humor element and being a laughter guy, definitely it would have been a good energizer for you to be a great mentor. Thanks for bringing that note, Shipra. Shipra, are there any tools that you are using on a daily basis to be a better you?
Yes, my daily tools are basically my feedback system.
Okay.
And my feedback system comes from people who are my biggest critics. So
Ah.
I basically turn to them. Whenever I feel I've done a good task, a nice task, I look up to them, because there are other people who are always praising me all the time. And when I look at them, I know that these are the people who are going to be sitting with scanners and microscopes and magnifiers, and they'll be finding and they'll be telling me, so what's the big deal? This is not that great, and this is what you always do. And this is where it's not that they want to put me down. These are the very same people who I'm talking about. These are the very same people, when I face my toughest challenges, they are the ones who motivate me, and they are the ones who tell me, okay, Shipra, you have faced even the worst things in life. This is
Mm.
nothing in front of you. But when it is good for me, when I go back to them, they said, this is not good enough. So they are the ones who push me. So this
Ah.
feedback helps me whenever I feel, oh God, I've done this much, I've ran that much. This was the time these people will say, you could do even better. So they are able to push me. They're
Mm.
able to motivate me to stretch my limits. That is one thing which I do on daily basis. No matter what, I always ask, and then I make a note of it. That what can I do? How do I? Because many times I do not get solutions from these people. They're very good at picking up on me, but they don't provide solutions. But
Mm.
then I have to search for solutions, and how do I better myself on this thing.
Mm.
Second is this, I tend to read a lot,
Mm.
and it's not only books.
Mm.
I love reading a lot of newspaper. I am more of a orthodox kind of a person, so I do not like reading, I would say, the online reading. I like to read, and I subscribe to 3 different newspapers on daily basis. So
Mm.
2 English and 1 Hindi. That is the one which we get here, the local language. And
Okay.
I read at least 5-6 pages on daily basis. I read the editorials. It keeps me acquainted with different kind of perceptions and opinions people have. Then
Mm.
I also watch 2 or 3 news channels, which basically keeps me abreast of all the latest news happening, local, national, and global. So
Mm.
whenever I'm into trainings and talking to people, it makes me, look more knowledgeable than I am, which
Mm.
basically works in my favor. So I do that. And the third thing which I do on daily basis is I always pray in the sense not to like God or something of that sort, but a gratitude which I
Mm.
have developed, that because thank you that I'm alive today and giving me so much of time to perform. So I practice all these 3 on daily basis.
Interesting. So Shipra, these are the tools you are using like a weapon for you to be a better you. Are there any specific habit which you are practicing which has, made you successful?
Yeah, I'm trying to be successful. I laugh a lot, I smile a lot, and my children tell me, Mama, you're extremely funny. And I listen to music whenever I want. I make sure that I take small, small breaks. Even though if I have to work for long hours, I'll take a 10 or 15 minutes break. I'm going to mobilize my body. I do not like keep sitting on a chair or in one single position because your body gets tired. I tend to hydrate myself a lot. I drink a lot of water. And if possible, then I do drink because nutrition is important. So I drink a lot of nimbu pani, or if we have curd, so then I have what you call the buttermilk or charge or those kind of things I usually have. When again, nutrition point of fruits are a good way to keep yourself happy because they have a lot of, I would say, vitamin and nutrients which are helpful. And one habit is this, that every single day I do Surya Namaskar. So this is one thing which I don't forget because it makes you energized, and it's important. When you are facing the sun, it makes your body releases serotonin, which otherwise is not released. Only sunlight and a good amount of sleep makes you get serotonin, which is one of the happiness chemicals. So I tend to do that. So these are certain habits which I have inculcated, and I do not tend to eat in a wrong fashion. It's rare for me to eat in a wrong fashion. Wrong fashion is eating at any time and eating whatever you want. Nothing of that sort. I eat whatever I love. There's no regimentation on that, but there's a regimentation on what are the different times that I will eat. I do not eat the entire day. So I basically eat only 2 meals. Rest of the time I have fruits and other liquids. That's it.
Interesting. So Shipra, you did mention unlearn and learn is what you plan for your company. But you're also in the training and you coach many leaders. In that context, how do you see learning trends going now and in the future?
See, there are two different kind of developments which we can see. There is a lot of, I would say, impetus on the side of gaining certain kind of certifications nowadays. And people feel very, very good, I would say, empowered when they have a certain level of certification. And but my experience tells me, even though if you're certified from a very good body or whatever it is, it doesn't fetch you more business or it doesn't fetch you more credibility. The credibility comes only when you apply whatever you have learned and you are able to utilize it. Without that, a simple degree or a certificate doesn't do any kind of good, because market out there is like very smart and they do not go for these tags. They basically want to see your real-time exposure and experience, which comes only from your performance. That is how it is. This is one of the trends which has really picked up nowadays, because on daily basis I receive at least 12 or 15 different kind of mails or calls or messages asking me to invest my time, money, energy and resource to purchase certain kind of certifications. And they also tell me, if I do that, and I'm going to become like that, and I will be some kind of crorepati or whatever pati you can say. I'll become billionaire or millionaire. And they all have earned those kind of, I would say, experiences. They've gained that experiences by sitting and being coached by some top leaders, global leaders, and you've got some 10 battery names of people out there, and they tell you, this is my 25 years of research and this is my 15 years of research. And whenever people are doing, they're all motor mouth, because I'm an essentially sales and marketing person. I can see what kind of sales pitch they are using. So this is one of the trends, and it's not a very good trend. I want to warn people on this. If you want to go for it, please deep dive, please search a lot. Please do not get attracted with such kind of advertisements, because these are advertisements, right? And you may like them initially, but later on you're not going to like. It's like going to the market. You found it so glamorous, you purchased something. After 5 days, you found it useless, and that is what is going to happen. The other trend which I see, and that is a very, very positive trend, is that people want to experiment and learn. People are learning by committing mistakes. It's a very good idea. I have had people coming to me and said, I want to become a trainer like you. How can I become? Now, I don't have the heart to tell them that you need 25 or 26 years of, slogging like me to become like me. Because whatever I am, it's just because of my own experiences that I have become like this. It's not come to me because of 2 years or 3 years of hard work.
Right.
But what I understand is their curiosity and their desire to make an impact. So then I tell them, go to the grassroots levels and understand the training in its entire context. Do not give into that, I would say, temptation of buying somebody else's presentation and becoming a delivery boy or a delivery girl, like a pizza boy or pizza girl who has not made the pizza himself or herself. That is not going to help you.
True.
Prepare it, burn your fingers, and let your customers shout at you, what have you made? Learn from it. And then I can promise you that you'll come up with your own version of some kind of tasty pizza, which is unique and yours only. And nobody can imitate that. The recipe cannot be imitated. Do that.
Lovely, lovely, Shipra. Okay, Shipra, we have come to an end of this interview. And before I ask you that last question, how can people reach out to you?
So people can reach out to me in multiple ways. Let me first start with Breathe to Live, the professional platforms. So we are there on LinkedIn, same name, Breathe to Live. We are on Facebook, same name, Breathe to Live. Two different kind of pages are there, groups are there. Instagram, Breathe to Live. YouTube, Breathe to Live. And if you want to specifically reach out to me, you can always, WhatsApp message to me, because that's one of the best ways I'm available. As I tell all the people that I'm usually busy and occupied. So don't call me. If you send me a WhatsApp message, I'm going to surely respond to it. As and when I read it, you will receive some kind of, response, a positive response from me. So do that, because that's the easiest and the smartest way to reach out to me.
Interesting. On a closing note, and that last question, Shipra, your advice to people who are new and want to accelerate their career.
So anybody, whether you're a sports person and whether you are into media, whether you're into education, whether you're an engineer or you're a doctor, and particularly you are into training industry, simply do one thing: work hard and put in efforts. So whatever is your industry's demand with respect to knowledge, have a very solid knowledge base. If it desires a certain kind of skill sets, develop those skill sets. And the best part is this: have the right kind of an attitude to explore all the opportunities. What are opportunities? All the challenges that are waiting to break you. So any challenge that is waiting to break you is an opportunity. Any difficult thing which is in front of you is an opportunity. Anything that stops you, anything that tries to put you down is an opportunity. Anybody who tells you that you are not good, that is an opportunity again. So utilize it, work hard, work hard, work hard. Then only you'll get an opportunity to shine and show your glitter to the world. Because I keep telling people that sometimes, we get carried away with so much of market forces which are out there. Everything is so glamorous, everything is so shiny. But as I say, be advised, all that glitters is definitely not gold, because the gold is within you. So do not go out and try and scout that gold, because as they say in Hindi also and in Sanskrit also, there is a mriga. Mriga is a deer. This Kasturi mriga. So Kasturi mriga is basically, wandering here and there, helter skelter. Where is this nice, fragrance coming from? Poor deer is unable to realize that that nice fragrance is basically associated and situated at the navel point, its own navel point. So do not, behave as a Kasturi mriga, going here and there, wandering here and there. How do I stabilize myself? Where do I get peace? Where do I get joy? How do I get happiness? It's all within you. Self-realization is going to take you there. And how do you self-realize yourself? Meditate. And how do you meditate? Do you simply close your eyes? Do you do fancy things? No, you can simply take a stroll in the nature, just immerse, absorb the beauty of it, smile, like it, and that's it. and you will be absolutely in sync with the universe.
Thank you. Thank you, Shipra. I think that was a powerful one. And, self Kasturi Mruga was a real takeaway for me in this beautiful one. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the links and resources which we have discussed in this episode will be made available in my show notes page of my podcast, Stars of Learning. Also on my website, prajvitaknowledge.com, that is Prajvita knowledge.com, for the description for more details. So thank you so much, Shipra, for being on the show and sharing all your wisdom and insightful one, and everything was so powerful. It was like every line was like an anecdote and a punchline, inspiring stories, unlearn to learn, lead from front, and integrity, discipline, and commitment. And the books were inspiring the way you mentioned about it. And the inner joy, happiness is eternal. That's what you said. That's the calling we should be looking at. Work hard and do a reverse thinking for wherever we want to achieve. Yeah, and we need to showcase the performance and not just have the certificates. We need to get into action and do much more. And affirmations is something I liked it, what you said. I am. When you do that, we are able to achieve what we want to do. Thank you so much for bringing all this to my lovely listeners. And definitely this will help them to be inspired, and help them to connect and collaborate with experts like you to gain more insights. Thank you for that, Shipra.
Thank you so much, everybody who's been listening to us and watching us. And it was a pleasure to be here and be a person who's very approachable and accessible, like I am, who's a very, next door person, not a celebrity, but who can easily come and mingle with the crowd, be like you, be one of you, be natural. That is my own tagline: be natural, be you. Thank you, everybody.
Wonderful. So, friends, if you have got any learning or motivated hearing to this episode, then make sure you do tag Shipra and myself, and make your friends know about this amazing information you learned today. By the way, I'm always grateful to all my lovely listeners who tunes in and leaves a review on any of the app you are looking at, iTunes or a YouTube app. It will help my podcast grow, and I really appreciate your support in that. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Bye for now. Take good care of yourself and be safe, and do something engaging, enlightening, and empowering. Thank you.